Hey, good afternoon. There's a movie on Netflix called Subservient. As you see in the background here, it's about a father uh, invites an artificially intelligent housekeeper into the home, but isn't looking for more than just a job. This movie is about a dad, a father, a husband with a little girl in school, a little toddler. Uh, his wife has this heart condition, so he has to run her to the hospitals and come find out she needs a heart transplant. The movie did a good job of breaking down the struggles of a dad who's trying to hold down a job and trying to take care of his two kids at home and struggling with dealing with his wife being in the hospital. And he really loved his wife and all that kind of stuff. So this movie set up where you got these things called Sims. They call them Sims. And they're these artificially intelligent robotic people that looks real. I mean, really real. I come across this yesterday when I was watching, Netflix, and it's number one on the Netflix chart. It's got Megan Fox in it. I said, "Dang, Megan Fox in this?" So I decided to watch it, and I kind of watched the trailer, and then I just last night when I got done doing all my stuff, I decided to watch it. Right, and this movie was very good, and Megan Fox did a really good job playing an artificially intelligent synthetic type of robotic, like real live sim. They call them Sims. And well, the movie goes on. He ends up uh, getting a. He ends up getting, you know, one. His daughter. He was. I think he was going to get a guy at first, and then his daughter wandered off because he went to this convention where they was trying to sponsor getting. People can get they get people get these things and help them around the house with the children, take them to school, they take their kids to work and all that kind of stuff. But this movie showed how much people really, rely on technology and stuff. It did a real good job of that. This movie is very well made. I was surprised because I thought there was just, I kept waiting on it to be kind of like whatever, and it wasn't. And he ends up getting close to Megan Fox because she was so real looking that she was so real looking that you know he told her to erase her memories because he wanted her to watch Casablanca, and she said the only way you can erase my memory because she was programmed only a certain way. She was programmed to serve whoever bought her, which was that guy and the family. So he decides to get her to watch Casablanca, but he falls asleep. She watched the whole thing, and then he got a phone call, and he had to run in. And his wife was supposed to get a heart transplant, but they couldn't make it the first time, so he was upset. And then the second time, she ended up getting they found the heart, and they ended up getting a heart transplant. But while he was going through all this, his job, he's a construction worker, his boss wanted the job done a lot faster, so he decided to hire a ton of those, they call them Sims, and he was replacing all the workers with these artificial people, and they was getting the job done like really, really fast compared to humans. And then he had a guy that was one of his buddies was upset, so they decided to. And so he wanted to cut the workforce down. So he only decided to keep one, which is this guy that has, uh, the main guy in the movie. But he got rid of everybody else. And now his buddy, they're out drinking one night, and his buddy decided to use his code to get inside, and they started destroying and just they destroyed a lot of those Sims. You know, they killed them, but they were robotic people. And so the next day, the boss comes in, the guy that's in charge of getting this great big skyscraper done. He found out that they used this code. So his buddy's like, "Man, you tell them people that." He said, the guy was drinking. He went over his house and threatened him. Said, "Man, you better cover for me, man." He said. And the guy's like, he said, "You're the only one that's kind of weird that kept the job. They got rid of most of us." So that they got rid of everybody else, but just kept this one guy, which is the main protagonist of the movie that we're watching. And so he got into a fight, and then Megan Fox was standing behind him. When he went to hit him with a bottle, Megan Fox, uh, she's an AI, she's a robot. She's a synthetic, or what do you want to call her, a sim. She grabs him and then she throws him out on the ground because they got good strength. Then she goes, I'm so they protect who they work for him. And so it went on from there, and then she ends up going over his house and she kills him. But that fight scene was pretty slick. They did a really good job. Megan Fox did a real good job acting like a synthetic robot. But he starts having feelings for her because she was so sexy. And then she was like, I can make you feel good. And she was telling him, she goes, I can see your blood pressure rising when you look at me and stuff. And then she was doing little things to get him turned on. And he was all upset over his wife and all that. Well, the climax of the movie is his wife ends up getting a heart transplant, and then she comes home. Well, then that's when the boss, he went to his boss, and the boss was telling him that, he was trying to explain to his boss what happened, and the boss was like, don't worry. He said, that guy got killed last night. He goes, he did? He goes, yeah. He goes, just take a few days off. And boss was kind of like, just blew it off because he just probably went out and got more Sims to work. And so he kind of knew it was, he didn't know it was her that killed him, but then he figures out that she killed him. But then she in a way, the synthetic robot or the sim they want to call, his wife was home, and, he hadn't been around his wife, and his wife, they were making love, and she walked in on him and said that your daughter had a nightmare. And the wife was like, but she was like, she's a robot, so she don't know no better. But the wife was like, and then there was a part where the wife was taking a bath, and the robot walked in, and which is the sim they call him, and then she was like, start talking to the wife, and the wife was looking at her, and she was saying things about her husband. Her husband was like, his wife was like, how you know all that about my husband? She goes, well, when his blood pressure's this way, he's worried and this and that. And then she was saying that, I know that you can't do things that you used to do. And she says, well, how you know what my husband can do? And that's when she found out that he had been banging her. And that's when it got really interesting, because I was like, yeah, she's like, so he comes home and she's sitting there drinking. He's like, honey, you sure you should be drinking that wine? Because she's recovering from a full heart transplant. She's like, so she just told him flat out, you've been effing this robot. And he goes, how long is it going to go? And he goes, and he had to explain to her why and how he did. She goes, well, I was in the hospital waiting on the heart transplant. You effed a freaking robot. She's like, because they make these Sims look real. So the climax of the movie is, Megan Fox's character gets, after he reset her and stuff, she hacked into her own system and started thinking her own way. They kind of like picked up some stuff off of Megan, what they did. But not quite. It's still got its own good story. But it was a very good story. You have to watch it. I'll be sitting here for like 40 minutes trying to explain to her. What the climax is, she went a little haywire, so they wanted to get rid of her because she felt like she knew they was going to get rid of her. So she tried to kill the little baby boy, and then that's when they had to gang up on her. And then the climax of the movie is she wanted to try to get rid of the mom who had the heart transplant. And so, but when she was in the hospital, there was a whole bunch of Sims in there. There was Dr. Sims, there was Nurse Sims, everything. There was Sims that was doing, they call them Sims. They were actually doing the surgery on her heart. And that's how she got a heart transplant. So, the climax of the movie is they had to kill her because she was trying to kill the wife. And so it's a good climax at the end. It's a really good climax. But then it shows at the end where, he had to end up killing her, running because she was going to kill his wife, and she kicked him away, and then he ran into her with a car, and then he went to grab his wife. Well, he got out, she pulled him out of the car, and then he wouldn't respond, and she started bawling, and then it showed the car over there. And they kind of did some Terminator stuff in there, because when it showed the car over there on fire, and all of a sudden you seen the car moving, I was like, oh man, this is some Terminator type stuff. And she moves out, and here she comes. She's looking all rough, and she's walking all crazy looking, hair all burned up, face all torn up. And then she's walking, and she's getting ready to attack this woman and getting ready to put a dagger in her, some type of sharp object. And then the husband wakes up and, blows out the back of her head, or something like that. And then as the movie ended, it showed the company saying, I want this place wiped clean. I want it to look like it never existed. And so they said, okay. He said, are we clear? And he says, and nobody said that. He goes, in the background, you saw all of them dropping their head. Then you see a new Megan. You see a new, they call her Alice. You see a brand new Alex. Alice, brand new. Megan Fox was laid out and she hacked into a system and she was rebooting back up because she had watched Casablanca and she was using that Casablanca. Casablanca, the movie had something to do with Humphrey Bogart. You guys familiar with that? Anyway, check this out. Just check it out. Put it on your radar. I used to use that in my old YouTube. I used to have a YouTube channel called Total Topics. I should have kept it. But put this Subservient is what it's called. I think. Yeah, Subservient. Yeah, right back here. Subservient. You see it? Put that on your radar. Very good. Very, very, very Megan Fox. Notice I was watching Megan Fox in this, and I said Megan Fox, she slimmed down a little bit. Not that she's overweight. It's just that most of her movies I've seen, she just looks like an old version of her, a slightly old version of herself when she was in the first time we seen her in Transformers. But she slimmed down for this movie, got herself like in real good shape because she looked pretty damn good in this movie. I was like, damn. But you know what gets me? They didn't show full on nudity. They did show the back of his butt because I guess, you know how women are. They love men's butts, especially if you got a nice butt. So they showed that shot. I was like, oh, that was obvious. And then, because you know how women are. They love men with tattoos and nice butts and all that. And, and there's nothing wrong with that. They showed that part. Showed Megan. They showed Alice, which is Megan Fox's character. They showed her naked, but she wasn't naked. She was kind of like on him, riding him. And they didn't show her breasts. They didn't show nothing downstairs or anything. But you kind of seen her like partially nuded, but not too much. So they didn't do too bad. And there was a scene where he was making love to his wife because she finally got out of the hospital and he missed making love to her. So there was a shower scene in there. But other than that, man, they didn't go overboard with the full-on nudity thing, which they shouldn't do that anyway. They should let you use your imagination on a lot of this stuff. So anyway, God bless, take care, and we'll catch you next video. Be blessed.